contact us, but
they could just stand on top of the Empire State Building and say, "Here I am." Why don't they do that?
In fact, they tried to pass through the White House years ago. A whole fleet of them. There's radar record, but it's just being covered up. It's days after day, cases being covered up.
But we should listen to them. They know better than us. I mean, you're saying something.
We can't say better or worse, but most of them who can go through here, they have 1,000 years of peaceful history. They have thousands years of more advanced technology in this way. So they have gone through our stages of self-destruction to go through all these, which we're trying to. So if we don't make it, we'll kill ourselves.
Okay, so they're good guys. They have things that we should learn. You're saying the same as Neil.
As I said earlier, most of the contact cases are positive, and for abduction cases, I would say half and half. There are alien species coming in that's not all the way thinking in a good for us.
So there are some sort of rogue elements as well.
There could be.
As Stephen Hawking says, that
there could be. But in a way, when Stephen Hawking say in this way, it's pretty. This is not balancing. He's saying the bad side and without saying anything good about it.
And how do we tell the good guys from the bad guys?
In a way, with his status, top of physics and science, the king man, his statement is not balanced. It's implying all the aliens out there are bad. He's not saying anything that's balancing what he tried to say, that we're going to be
Well, there's another Steven. His name is Steven Spielberg, and he's a movie director. And I remember him saying that it is impossible that we don't have aliens. That's virtually impossible because of what we have out there. There's got to be other life forms other than us.
Is it possible that there's no aliens out there? Because by statistics, I think all scientists agree with that too. I think there's another Stephen too, Stephen Greer, the head of the civilian SETI. SETI is searching for extraterrestrial life intelligence now. If I could quote his statement, this is probably UFO Club and Institute of Ufology's very close to this comment. Okay, he's saying that it's unfortunate that Stephen Hawking has added his voice to a growing chaos of kind of fearing war among with this topic alien. And secondly, as a scientist, he should know better. Any interstellar civilization would possess such technology that the main resources of Earth would be unneeded. If you're traveling faster than the speed of light, and you can manifest what is needed. All right, that's his statement.
So they've got nothing. We've got nothing to offer them. So we don't have to worry. Is that what he's saying?
No.
I thought that was the import of what that quote. No, from the director of SETI.
He's saying we don't have to worry about they're coming over to get our resource.
Yeah, because we've got nothing that they would need. Well, we've got another Stephen Hughes, and there's another one.
So many Stevens today.
Yeah. Lecturer in astrophysics from Queen's University. Dr. Hughes, good morning to you.
Morning.
Hi. Well, what do you think about what Stephen Hawking has been saying?
Well, as you might know, I'm I suppose a bit sceptical on this issue about whether or not there are other life forms out there that would be able to travel towards the Earth to here. So I think people need to realise the immense distances to the just the nearest stars. As someone pointed out, the nearest star to us, Proxima Centauri, which is about 4 light years away, which it doesn't sound very far when you say 4 faster than a jumbo jet. So it gives us some idea just how long it would take to get there. And my point would be that if there was some civilization that was able to build a spacecraft, which we presume would have to be pretty large to get here, they'd have to have access to resources fairly close to home. And would they want to go such huge distances to get extra resources? It's a bit like some people can actually drive enormous distances just to try and get sort of cheaper fuel. It's sort of counterproductive. So I think we need to take that into account. So but personally, I don't think it's all very hypothetical. And as someone else said on the program, we've got absolutely no idea about what they might be like. There's a planet similar to the Earth hasn't been found yet.
So you're saying that in this entire universe, this totally entire universe, we're alone. That's what you're saying.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying I don't know. There could be other people, but there might not. We just don't know. And
I wonder
also,
if I could say something.
sort of throw cold water on it, but also my view is that there isn't the actual sort of UFO sightings, that sort of thing, is not evidence for alien civilizations contacting the Earth. I'm not saying that there aren't any. I'm just saying that personally I don't think that all the sightings are evidence for that.
But you're tending to think there's no need to panic again because they wouldn't necessarily want resources for us or from us, which is something that Stephen Hawking had mentioned.
Well, again, I don't know, but I mean personally, I would have thought so because of the huge differences involved, and presumably they would have access to resources fairly close, like an asteroid belt or something, which is close to the Earth.
Okay. Neil Gould, do you want to do?
Yeah, I mean, this is this sort of Dr. Hughes's comments gives you an idea of exactly where human consciousness is in terms of our institutions. I mean, clearly they need to be revamped. The Brookings report in the 1960s said that they should not disclose anything to do with extraterrestrial life because the first people to suffer would be our scientists and our institutions and our religious leaders. Dr. Stephen Hughes hasn't taken into account within the field of exopolitics we have multidisciplinary studies which include torsion physics, where a Type 3 civilization could simply lock onto the torsion field of a star or our sun and use the energy to get here, and it would be superluminous. It would be almost immediate. We obviously study Type 1, Type 2, Type 3 civilizations. Type 1 civilization has total control over the energies of the planet, the ley lines, the lava, the geothermal energies. They can control earthquakes. The Type 2 have total control over the energy of suns, stars, etc. They have something called Dyson spheres, where they talk about damming energy. And a Type 3 civilization.
You know an awful lot about them. You know an awful lot about them, Mr. Gould, don't you?
Well, I would not disclose. I would not disclose at this point at least 70% of what I know. Simply because of this level of consciousness. It's disturbing to hear our institutions talk like this. I mean, there are thousands of people learning in Dr. Hughes' classes, and it's frightening. Anthropology is the same. I mean, you go to the Temple of Abydos in Egypt, and you see spaceships on the wall. These glyphs are thousands of years old. You go to Colombia, and you see a trinket made of gold that's 800 years old that you put Ivan Sanderson, the biologist, put into a wind tunnel and it flew.
And we've got another anthropologist who's been waiting patiently.
Okay.
Who might have a different view, I think. Philip Hazley, professor from the Niagara County Community College. Good morning to you, Professor Hazley.
Good morning.
Hi, thank you very much indeed for joining us. Hope you've been interested in the debate so far. What do you think about Stephen Hawking? I mean, Stephen Hawking is basically saying it's likely that there is life outside Earth. Most of it will be at a very low level, but if they manage to make it here to come and visit us, we'd better watch out. We'd better be careful. Do you sort of share that concern?
Well, I would say that knowing the actual motivations of an extraterrestrial species, or even intuiting it beforehand, is almost an impossibility. You really don't know how their minds would work, what their possible motivations might be, and that perhaps might be the most frightening thing of all for people from with that first encounter, is literally not being able to contact at any level, the consciousness and the intentions of the people concerned, of the beings concerned, I should say. As far as, comparison with, the colonization, of various places around the world and the meeting with native peoples, one thing that is clear is that one of the reasons why those colonizations went so badly is just because that's what they were, colonizations with intents for resources, among people who were limited in their resources and wanted more. Certainly a group of people or a group of beings who could come light years probably would have, relatively, inexhaustible resources to draw upon across the wide universe, and probably extraordinarily lengthy lives, which would reduce their concern about, I guess you'd say, the small things that humans consider to be so important about getting on with things and accomplishing things and making a great deal of splash on the pages of history.